eye. There is one setup in the market that can change a trader's life, but most traders never see it. Not because it is hidden, not because it is complicated, not because Wall Street keeps it secret. They miss it because they are too busy chasing noise. They are watching every candle, every small move, every fake breakout, every red and green flash on the screen. And while they are chasing pennies, the real setup is quietly forming in front of them. Listen carefully. The setup that made fortunes was never the one that appeared every 5 minutes. It was the one that demanded patience. It was the one that tested your emotions before it rewarded your discipline. It was the one that looked boring until suddenly everyone else noticed it too late. A poor trader wants action. A professional trader wants alignment. That is the difference. The amateur asks, "Where can I enter right now?" The master asks, "Where is the market preparing to move big?" And that question changes everything, because that billion-dollar setup is not just a chart pattern. It is a moment when price, volume, trend, timing, and psychology all line up, when the weak hands have already been shaken out, when the crowd is confused, when fear is high, when patience has removed the gamblers, and when the market is finally ready to reveal its true direction. That is the setup most traders miss. They miss it because they enter too early, they exit too soon, they risk too much, they doubt the trend, they fight the tape. They want certainty before the move begins. But the market never gives certainty, it gives clues. And the trader who knows how to read those clues does not need to predict. He studies, he prepares. Then when the market confirms, he acts without hesitation. I learned early that the market does not reward opinions. It rewards timing. You may have the right idea, but if your timing is wrong, the market will punish you as if you were completely wrong. Many traders see a stock rise, and immediately think, "I missed it." Then they chase. They buy when the smart money is selling to them. They enter after the easy money is gone. They confuse motion with opportunity. But a true setup does not begin with excitement. It begins with silence. A stock starts building a base. It stops falling. The selling pressure weakens. Bad news comes out, but price refuses to break lower. Then slowly, quietly, accumulation begins. The public does not care yet. The headlines are not excited yet. The crowd is still afraid, but the chart begins to whisper. Higher lows, tighter ranges, volume drying up on pullbacks, strong closes near the high of the day. Then one day, price breaks through resistance with real force. Not weak force, not fake force, real demand. Volume enters. The move has character. The stock does not just rise, it announces itself. That is where the amateur hesitates. He says, "It has already moved too much." But the professional understands, the real move may have just begun. This is where most traders fail. They think a setup is only an entry number. A setup is a story. It has a beginning, a middle, and a moment of truth. The beginning is preparation. The middle is pressure. The moment of truth is confirmation. If you enter during preparation, you may be too early. If you enter during pressure, you may be shaken out. But if you wait for confirmation, you enter when the market itself proves your idea. That is the difference between guessing and trading. A $1 million setup has 3 parts. First, the market must show direction. Second, the stock must show strength. Third, the trader must show patience. Without patience, even the best setup becomes dangerous, because a nervous man can lose money even in the right trade. He buys correctly, then exits from fear. He cuts the winner too soon, he holds the loser too long. He watches the profit move up and down until his emotions control him, and then he blames the market. But the market did not fail him. His discipline failed him. The greatest money is not made by jumping in and out. It is made by sitting tight when you are right. That sounds simple, but it is one of the hardest things in speculation, because sitting tight requires belief, not blind belief, informed belief. Belief built from study, confirmation, risk control, and experience. When you enter a real setup, you should already know your invalidation point. You should already know where you are wrong. You should already know how much you are willing to lose. Because if you do not define your risk before the trade, your emotions will define it during the trade. And emotions are expensive. The market loves emotional traders. It feeds on them. It scares them out at the bottom. It pulls them in at the top. It gives them hope in bad trades and fear in good trades. That is why the $1 million setup is not only on the chart. It is also inside the trader. Can you wait while nothing happens? Can you act when the moment comes? Can you or hold when the trade works? Can you exit when the market proves you wrong? That is the real test. Let me give you a simple example. A stock has been falling for months. Everyone hates it. Every rally fails. The news is bad. The crowd has lost interest. Then the stock stops making new lows. It starts moving sideways. For weeks, maybe months, nothing exciting happens. Most traders leave. They call it dead money. But the wise trader watches. He notices that every time price drops, buyers appear. He notices volume is heavy on up days and lighter on down days. He notices resistance being tested again and again. Then one day, price breaks above that resistance with strong volume. Now the character has changed. The stock is no longer weak. The market has spoken. That is not the time to argue. That is the time to listen. But most traders miss it because they wanted action earlier. They lost money inside the base. They got bored. They stopped watching. Then when the real breakout comes, they are mentally tired. They say, I already tried this stock, but they tried it before the setup was ready. That is like planting seeds in winter and blaming the soil. Timing matters. The market has seasons. There is a season to watch, a season to wait, a season to act, and a season to sit tight. The fool wants every season to be harvest season. The professional understands that money is made by respecting timing. The $1,000,000 setup often appears after great pressure. A stock breaks out from a long base. A commodity clears a major level. An index holds support when everyone expects a crash. A leader emerges while the rest of the market remains confused. These are not random moments. They are psychological turning points. They show that supply has been absorbed. They show that weak holders are gone. They show that demand is stronger than fear. And when demand becomes stronger than fear, price can move further than most people believe. That is why great traders do not need many trades. Bias, they need the right trades. One good campaign can be worth more than 100 small guesses. But the ego does not like waiting. The ego wants to feel productive. It wants to click buttons. It wants to prove intelligence. It wants to say, I knew it. But the market does not pay you for activity. It pays you for accuracy. And sometimes the most profitable thing a trader can do is nothing. Nothing until the setup is ready. Nothing until the market confirms. Nothing until the risk is clean. Nothing until the reward is worth the danger. There is power in doing nothing. There is wisdom in waiting. There is money in patience. But patience without preparation is laziness. A real trader is not waiting blindly. He is watching. He is building a list. He is studying leaders. He is marking levels. He is measuring volume. He is observing market conditions. He is asking, where is strength hiding? Because when the market turns, strength reveals itself first. The best stocks do not wait for czar or mission. They move before the crowd believes. They break out while others are still debating. They hold strong while weak names collapse. They attract money before the headlines explain why. That is why you must watch relative strength. A strong stock in a weak market is speaking. A stock that refuses to fall is speaking. A stock that breaks out while others struggle is speaking. Are you listening? Most traders listen to opinions. Professionals listen to price. Opinions are loud. Price is honest. News can deceive you. Experts can confuse you. Social media can distract you. But price and volume reveal where money is actually moving. The market does not care what people say. It cares what they do with money. When big money wants in, it leaves footprints, not always obvious, not always clean, but visible to the trained eye. Tight consolidations, strong breakouts, shallow pullbacks, heavy volume on advances, support holding again and again. These are clues, and clues matter. Because speculation is not prediction, it is interpretation. You interpret the evidence, then you place your bet only when the odds are in your favor. That is how professionals think. Not, will this go up, but are the odds strong enough? Not, can I make money? But is this trade worth the risk? Not, what do I want to happen, but what is the market actually doing? The $1,000,000 setup appears when your desire becomes less important than the evidence. That is maturity. A young trader wants to be right. An experienced trader wants to make money. And sometimes making money means admitting you are wrong quickly. The best setup in the world can fail. Never forget that. There is no perfect setup. There is only a high probability opportunity with defined risk. If the setup fails, you leave. No drama, no revenge, no argument. A small loss is the cost of doing business. A big loss is usually the cost of ego. An ego has destroyed more accounts than bad charts ever did. A trader says, I can't sell now, it will come back. That is not strategy. That is hope. Hope is beautiful in life, but dangerous in the market. In the market, hope belongs before the trade, not after the loss. Before the trade, you hope your preparation is correct. After the trade goes wrong, you follow your rules. That is discipline. When the $1,000,000 setup comes, you must be mentally clean. You cannot carry the emotions of your last loss. You cannot revenge trade. You cannot force size because you want to recover. You cannot enter late because you fear missing out. You must approach the setup like a professional, calm, patient, prepared, detached, because the market rewards the man who can control himself when opportunity appears. Imagine two traders watching the same breakout. One trader is desperate. He lost money yesterday. He wants revenge. He enters too large. The trade pulls back slightly. He panics. He exits. Then the stock moves without him. The second trader is prepared. He knew. Now's the level. He knows the risk. He knows the position size. He expects pullbacks. He enters calmly. He holds as long as price behaves correctly. Same setup, different mind, different result. This is why trading is not just about finding setups. It is about becoming the kind of person who can execute them. The setup does not make you rich. Your behavior around the setup does. A great opportunity in the hands of an undisciplined trader becomes a loss. A simple opportunity in the hands of a disciplined trader becomes a fortune. So ask yourself, are you searching for better setups, or are you becoming a better trader? Because the market will not change for you. The candles will still move. The fakeouts will still happen. The noise will still tempt you. The crowd will still panic. The only thing you can truly improve is yourself. And when you improve yourself, the same market starts looking different. You stop chasing. You stop begging. You stop forcing trades. You stop needing ads. You begin to see structure. You begin to see pressure. You begin to see where the crowd is trapped. You begin to see when the market is preparing for a real move. That is when trading changes. Not because the market became easier, but because you became calmer. The $1,000,000 setup every trader misses is often simple. A strong stock, a clear level, a long base, a powerful breakout, a controlled pullback, a trend that confirms. But simple does not mean easy. Easy would mean everyone could do it. Simple means the rules are clear. Hard means the emotions are strong. You do not lose because the setup is hard to understand. You lose because it is hard to wait, hard to trust, hard to cut losses, hard to sit through normal pullbacks, hard to ignore the crowd, hard to do nothing when nothing should be done. That is why most traders miss the big money. They are too impatient for the big move. They want the reward without the waiting. They want the profit without the discomfort. They want the breakout without the shakeout. But the market always tests you before it pays you. Before a real move, there is often confusion, false starts, pullbacks, boring price action out. That is the market removing weak hands. If you cannot survive the waiting, you will not enjoy the move. If you cannot handle uncertainty, you will not hold the winner. If you cannot accept small losses, you will eventually take a large one. The market is a mirror. It reveals your habits, your fear, your greed, your impatience, your discipline. And once you understand that, you stop blaming the chart. You start training the trader. So here is the rule. Do not look for trades. Look for conditions. A trade is just an entry. Conditions are the environment. Is the general market strong? Is the stock a leader? Is price breaking from a clean structure? Is volume confirming? Is risk controlled? Is there room for the trade to move? If the answer is no, wait. If the answer is yes, prepare. And if the market confirms, yes, act. That is the process. Boring? Yes. Profitable? Often. The best trading does not feel exciting. It feels controlled. Excitement is usually a warning sign. If your heart is racing before every trade, your size may be too large. If you cannot sleep because of your position, your risk is too high. If you need the trade to work, you are emotionally attached, and attachment blinds judgment. A professional can want a trade to work, but he does not need it to work, because he knows there will be another setup, another opportunity, another campaign. The market is not going anywhere, but your capital can disappear quickly if you trade without discipline. Protect your capital, protect your confidence, protect your mind. Because when the real setup appears, you need all three. A trader without capital cannot trade. A trader without confidence cannot act. A trader without mental control cannot hold. That is why preparation matters. You are not preparing for every trade. You are preparing for the one trade that matters, the one that can pay for weeks of waiting, the one that can build your account, the one that can change your belief in yourself. But you will only catch it if you are ready, and readiness is built before the breakout, not after. Before the move, you study. Before the move, you mark the level. Before the move, you plan your risk. Before the move, you decide your size. Before the move, you prepare your mind. Then when the move comes, you do not freeze. You execute. That is how money is made. Not in panic, not in noise, not in guessing, but in preparation meeting opportunity. The world remembers the big wins, but it does not see the waiting behind them. It does not see the days of doing nothing, the weeks of study, the small losses, the patience, the emotional control, the willingness to sit alone while the crowd chases excitement. But that is where the fortune is built, not when everyone is celebrating, but when nobody is watching. The setup appears first as a patient trader, then to the professional crowd, then to the public. By the time the public is excited, the easy money may already be gone. So do not wait for the crowd to give you confidence. The crowd is usually late. Let the market give you confidence. Let price confirm. Let volume confirm. Let structure confirm. Then follow your rules. The $1,000,000 setup is not a miracle. It is a disciplined process. Find strength. Wait for structure. Demand confirmation. Control risk. Hold while right. Exit when wrong. Repeat. That is trading. Simple words. Difficult execution. But if you can master this, you will no longer feel the need to chase every move. You will stop treating the market like a casino. You will stop believing every candle is an opportunity. You will understand that your job is not to trade more. Your job is to trade better. One good setup can do what 50 forced trades cannot. One patient entry can save you from months of frustration. One disciplined campaign can teach you more than years of gambling. So the next time you open a chart, do not ask, where can I make money today? Ask, where is the market building pressure? Ask, where are traders trapped? Ask, where is strength showing itself? Ask, where is risk small and potential large? Ask, is this a real setup or am I just bored? That question alone can save your account. Because boredom is one of the most dangerous emotions in trading. Many traders do not lose because they saw a bad setup. They lose because they could not wait for a good one. They trade because they feel empty. They trade because they want excitement. They trade because the screen is open. But the market does not reward boredom. It punishes it. Every unnecessary trade is a small leak, and enough small leaks can sink a large ship. So protect yourself from your own impatience. Build rules, follow them, wait for your setup, and when it comes, do not hesitate. Because hesitation after confirmation is just fear wearing a buy mask of caution. If the setup is not ready, wait. If the setup is ready, act. If the setup fails, exit. If the setup works, sit tight. That is the whole game. But few can play it because few can control themselves. Remember this. The big money is not in predicting every turn. The big money is in recognizing the right moment and having the courage to commit with discipline, not reckless courage, controlled courage. The courage to enter when the evidence is there. The courage to hold when the trend is alive. The courage to leave when the trade is wrong. The courage to wait when nothing is ready. That is the courage of a real trader. And that is what separates the gambler from the speculator. The gambler needs action. The speculator needs advantage. The gambler hopes. The speculator studies. The gambler reacts. The speculator waits. The gambler loses control. The speculator controls risk. And over time, the difference becomes visible in the account. So do not search for the perfect I care. Do not jump from strategy to strategy. Do not believe the next secret will save you. The secret is discipline around a high-quality setup. The secret is patience before the move, precision during the entry, control after the entry, and humility when wrong. That is the $1,000,000 lesson. The market will always tempt you. It will always show you fast moves you missed. It will always make someone else look lucky. It will always whisper, enter now. But you must become stronger than the whisper. You must learn to say, no, not yet. That may be the most profitable sentence in trading. Not yet, not my SEP, not my risk, not my moment. And then when the moment finally comes, you say yes, calmly, decisively, professionally, because you waited, because you prepared, because you respected the market, and because you respected yourself. The $1,000,000 setup every trader misses is not hidden in some secret room on Wall Street. It is hidden behind impatience, behind fear, behind greed, behind the need to be in every move. Once you remove those things, you begin to see it. A clean structure, a powerful breakout, a leader showing strength, a market confirming direction, a trade where risk is controlled and reward is meaningful. That is the setup. But the setup is only half the story. The other half is you. Can you wait for it? Can you trade it properly? Can you hold it without destroying it? Can you walk away if it fails? If you can, you are no longer just watching the market. You are participating like a professional. And that is where your trading begins to change. Not overnight, not with magic, but with discipline, with repetition, with patience, with respect for risk, and with the understanding that the market owes you nothing, but it offers opportunity to those who are ready. So wait for the right setup. Protect your capital. Study the leaders. Watch the levels. Let the crowd chase noise. Let the impatient trader burn his account. Let the market come to you, because when the real setup appears, you will not need to force it. You will recognize it. And when you recognize it, you will act. That is how fortunes are built. Not by chasing every candle, but by waiting for the one setup that matters. And when you find it, do not waste it. Trade it with discipline. Hold it with patience. Protect it with rules. And remember, the market does not reward the man who moves the most. It rewards the man who waits the best.